A very good day, everyone. So all those students who are watching live and all those students who are watching through the G Drive, I hope yesterday I have given you the task and you would have completed the task. So task was related to revision of GST ka only one clause, that was section number 7, clause A. So in clause A, I am not knowing right now anything. You would be telling me now it's Viva, and to whom I will be asking, you have to answer. Rajesh ji, tell me, what was there related to deposit? Something was related to deposit. What was that?
Deposit will be treated like money, in the sense it will not be a part of the supply. Okay, but the interest on the deposit will be considered as a service.
Have you revised honestly?
No.
No? Now, Jaya, you tell me, what was there? Something related to subsidy was there.
Ma'am, if subsidy is received from government, then it is not taxable for the supplier.
Okay.
And in case of a recipient, suppose I got subsidy of the subsidy of 1,000 I have got, so it will be fully taxable. In case of a supplier, only 800 would be taxable, and the 200 subsidy will not be taxable.
Is it a complete explanation as per you? If I am explaining like this, would you be able to understand the concept?
It is not a complete explanation, but I'm not getting exactly the words what I could say for that.
Are you getting what she said? She's not getting exactly the words. Actually, you know the concept. What is the importance of knowing a concept if you cannot frame it in words? Because during the exam, what you know in the brain is not important. What you would be writing, that is important. Wait, Karthik, you tell me. There was something related to actionable claim. What was that?
Goods and services are a component of supply, and both these things doesn't include money and securities. In the definition of money, specifically actionable claims are being, goods, in the definition of goods, specifically actionable claims are being included. And in schedule 3, they are giving that scope that only lottery, betting and gambling are being included in for GST. Others are out of GST for the purpose of supply, being called it as a supply, as goods or service.
And what about that immovable property related adjustment?
Immovable property, say, goods are there, means goods are only movable properties, but it does not mean that immovable properties are services. Since in active list they are saying that specifically sale of land or sale of building is neither a supply nor neither a sale of goods nor a supply of service, like that.
Sachin, you tell me, what was there in service? Something was given that if you charge something in relation to that, that will be included in the definition of service.
Service means anything other than goods, but exclude money and security, include activity by way of use of money, conversion of money by cash or any other mode, from one currency, one denomination to another, for which separate consideration is charged.
And what was there in relation to person? Something was explained in relation to person. There was something, a person in the definition of supply.
Person, registered person or taxable person?
Is it registered or taxable person, Lakshmi?
A person means a taxable person, A taxable person includes a person who is registered and who is liable to be registered, and it includes individual, AOP, BOI, then cooperative society, company, firm, etc.
Okay. So, Sachin, it's not registered person. Already, yesterday I told you, registered means the person already registered. But if you want to charge GST on supply, that means the person who is liable to registered and the person who has already registered, both will be included. Therefore, taxable person is there. So, I don't know. See, Rajesh not revised properly. Jay not getting words properly. Honestly, you have revised or not? Because understand one thing, yesterday we have spent 1 hour 30 minutes on only clause A. What do you think? After 1 week, would you be able to get everything in your brain? No, you won't be able to. So for that purpose, active recalling is a concept and you have to do active recalling. Just a minute. Huh? Now, what is active recalling? Active recalling means yesterday also I have told you, if you have done something, do not read it. Rereading ka matlab kya hota hai? You students are just busy in doing rereading. You will just take a book. Whatever you have done, you start reading. Okay, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. Understand one thing. Already your brain has understood something. And you can see that. So you would feel that mujhe sab aata hai, I know everything. However, this is wrong. Now close your book and try to recall what was there in consideration. Consideration, can anyone tell all the points? Ma'am, in consideration, it would be paid by whom, it includes kind, it includes cash, it would be paid by recipient, it could be paid by other than recipient, it does not include deposit that is refundable, it does not include your subsidy from central government, state government. Are you getting? Why I am, if you can ask, if you want now, you can ask me from authority of advanced ruling, you can ask question from me from appeals and revision, from demand and recovery, entire GST mein, anywhere you would be asking na, at least I would be able to give you a considerable answer. It's not because I'm having very wonderful brain. The only thing is active recalling, because of which I'm having everything in my head. It's not easy to have everything about DT and IDT. Honestly, you would also feel that DT minute details are there. IDT minute linkages are there. It's not possible. I'll never prepare anything before teaching you. By God's grace, just because I have one concept, ki active recalling. Honestly, I'm telling you, you would feel after the completion of the batch, that batch is of no use if you do not revise. You cannot blame any faculty, any teacher, because you are not revising. It is your exam. At the time of exam, now students what feel na, main literally experience bata rahi hu students ka, I'm telling you the experience. During the batch, it was one of my students, yesterday I have had a call with her. One of my students, I was very sure she is going to be CA. She was preparing for rank, AIR. She was very good in that. I was pretty sure she will not get rank, I know that, but I was sure that she was going to be CA. What happened? Till September, my batches was going. She was getting mentoring for DTIDT. Due to that mentoring and due to all the push in the class, she was studying 16 hours a day. After that, when the real time come, October, dull. And she end up with, ma'am, is one nahi ho paega. I've left everything. I was like choosy. I will do the selective study, so at least I can appear in the exam. Imagine a student was preparing for rank and end up selective studies. The selective studies are not going to work, and you have to understand what was her mistake. At the end of this September, everything was completed by her end. Sirf uska kya bacha tha? Only SCMP was left. at the end of the September when you have only FCMP left. Entire both group you have completed. What is lacking? Cumulative revision. Even you complete right now and you do not do the cumulative revision, I am giving you in writing that my batches are of no use. Any of the faculty's batches are of no use because you are not revising. It's your brain who has to recall. It's your brain who has to put in long-term memory. It's not my brain. I can explain you 10 times. Even after the explanation of 10 times, if you are not getting the things right, that is your mistake, not mine. Understand? And this is the bitter fact. It is you who have to revise. Are you getting? One another student from mentoring was there. That was first group mentoring. I was sure okay, she would actually get considerable marks. Okay. Again, what she did? Ma'am, likh ke nahi kiya. You every time in mentoring I give target ki this concept you have to give write and practice. In DT exam, he said me, ma'am, I was unable to write. I was not getting, I know this question, but I was not able to start. And you would feel it. Either you feel yourself or either you believe me and just keep yourself safe ki mujhe wo feel nahi karna experience. So that is the importance. I'm again and again telling, keep revising. Otherwise you would find ki total classes are waste. Because some of you have not right now not given the fees. Abhi bol rahi hu main ki I don't worry about the number of students. I believe ki whatever if I'm teaching 4 students, so I can give 100%. So if you think you cannot revise, do not submit any fees. Because batches are of no use. You can then use the revision lecture also. What is the importance? Revision lecture mein you only hear. You do not understand. Kabhi bhi tumne revision lecture sun ke dekhna, you would not be able to write the things. Because you are only listening. You are not understanding the facts. So that is why I'm saying keep revising. Otherwise, कुछ नहीं होगा. अभी बहुत आगे बढ़ जाएंगे. Course will be this much, and you would be knowing only this much. So don't put yourself in that position. Okay. Chalo. So for today, as it was the first time I was taking Viva, okay. But from tomorrow, I need a positive response so that I would be satisfied that at least you know the facts. Okay, to everyone. Okay. Now task for you. Write down the task that you have to complete. Whatever we will be doing today and what we have done yesterday. Okay. Whatever we have done yesterday and whatever we will be doing today, you have to write everything without checking your copy in 15 minutes and submit it to me for checking. Okay. जो भी हम कल करा था हमने और जो हम आज करने वाले हैं, you have to write everything possible, whatever you can recall in your language as if you are writing an exam and you would be submitting it to me for checking. Okay. Chalo. Why Abdul unable to connect? Chalo. Start. So yesterday we have done the definition of supply, and in the definition of supply, we have completed all forms of goods and service wala part. We have completed this example wala part. We have understood the meaning of made, agreed to be made. For consideration, we have understood a person, we have understood. Now we have to understand course furtherance of business. In general, it is nothing, but it is everything you do, whatever you sell, it should be what? It should be in course furtherance of the business. Now, ma'am, what is the meaning of course furtherance of business? So let us move to the definition of course furtherance of business. Any trade, any commerce, any manufacture, any profession, whatever trading you do, whatever manufacturing you do, whatever large scale commerce you do, whether it is for the motive of profit or whether it is not for the motive of profit, that is your trade. Simple. So whether it is profit motive, whether it is not profit motive, it is business. Simple, nothing to understand. Now, ma'am, you would say, ki, okay, trade, commerce, whatever, whether for the profit, whether not for the profit is trade. Suppose I am in the business of selling what? Aeroplane. I am selling what? Aeroplane. In a year, only one of the plane is sold. In a year, only one aeroplane is sold. And another business I have, that is of vegetables. Daily lots of transactions are there. So one of the businesses of aeroplane and another business is of vegetable. Are you noticing? Frequency is only one in one business. In a year, I can sell only one aeroplane. And vegetables, many times in a day, there are lots and lots and lots of transactions. So they are saying, ki, even if no volume, even if no continuity, doesn't matter. If your business is having only one transaction also, that is also business. If your business is having multiple transactions also, that is also your business. Understood? Frequency does not matter. Ma'am, suppose in my business, I am doing some incidental activity. Incidental activity means my basic thing is to provide you service. If I talk about me, my basic thing is to provide you service, a service of teaching. But along with that, suppose I started giving you hard copy of the book also. I started giving hard copy of the book also. So actually my business is not giving the hard copy of the book. I am not therefore giving you the hard copy, but I am giving it. Another example, suppose I am a seller of mobile phone, or I am a seller of electronic items. Now this electronic items, fridge, that is very big. So I cannot deliver you. So I provide a service that will be delivered to your home. I provide the service that it will be what? Delivered to your home. In such a case, it is what? In such a case, it is nothing. It is ancillary services. So what are the incidental services? What are the ancillary services? Incidental and ancillary service, both are also your business. So from the crux, any trade, commerce, any incidental activity, whatever activity you do, whether it has volume, whether it does not have volume, does not matter, that is considered to be your trade. Is it important? No. Generally, you would understand that business hai, business activity, whether large volume of activity, low volume of activity, ancillary activity, all are considered to be business. Only that you have to understand. Important. Now, this is important. Supply, acquisition of goods. Supply, acquisition of goods that include capital goods and service. That includes what? Capital goods and service. Now we have done the definition of goods. In the definition of goods, write down one point also, that goods is input also and goods are capital goods also. So goods include input also, goods includes capital goods also. We have written to write down one point, analysis point there. Create a bullet and write goods mean input. Goods mean input. And capital goods also. Now, what is input? Raw material. Done? Now, supply, acquisition of goods, including capital goods, service, in connection with commencement or closure of the business. In connection with commencement or closure of the business. See, when I have explained you the clause, section number 7, clause A, that goods to be supplied or service to be supplied for consideration in course furtherance of business, right? Actually, during the business, you should acquire anything, and during the business, you should sell anything. But यहाँ पे what they are saying, in connection with commencement or in connection with closure of the business. Now, this is to be understood. This is a business. Right now, I have not established anything. I have just an idea. मेरे पास एक idea है कि I will start a business. I am going to start a business. That is my idea. Right now, I have not started the business. My business is not registered. My company has not commenced. I'm just having what? I'm just having an idea. Ki I will start a business. Now, for starting the business, I started purchasing capital goods. I started purchasing what? Capital goods. I started taking certain services. Started purchasing some capital goods, started purchasing some services. Now, understand one thing, when you are acquiring something, actually business is not in existence. It is ancillary activity. In relation to business, acquiring something, it is ancillary. But right now, your business has not yet started. Right now, your business had not yet started. Now, what you would be saying, when I am not doing this for the business course furtherance of business, no GST would be there. So specifically, they are saying, even the business had not yet started, but for the commencement of the business, you acquire something that is considered to be in course furtherance of business. Understood? Why this has happened? Because I'm not having business right now. I'm acquiring the products. Now I'm acquiring capital goods. You would not give me ITC. There is the concept of input tax credit. If you are saying it is not for the purpose of business, you would say no ITC will be available to you. इसको थोड़ा सा elaborate कर रही हूँ मैं, अब ध्यान देना. There is the concept of input tax credit. What is input tax credit? बहुत normal level पे I'm explaining. Whatever taxes you pay at the time of purchase, whatever taxes you pay, you can avail credit of that taxes. Itna you understand? Because you have done in inter level. Whatever taxes you pay at the time of purchase, you will get the credit. Now there is a section, that is section number 16. That is what? Section number 16. As per section number 16, credit is available if and only if you utilize that for whatever you purchase, you utilize that for the purpose of business. फिर से बोलूं, ITC will be available if whatever you have purchased, you would be utilizing it for the purpose of business. Ma'am, my business has not yet commenced. Are you getting? My business has not yet commenced and I am purchasing capital goods. How I will get my ITC? Are you getting? That is the reason they have included in the definition of business that this commencement, during commencement, whatever you acquire, and after the closure of the business, whatever you sell, both are considered to be in course furtherance of business. Now, closure of the business, again your business is closed, no course furtherance of business. I closed my business, I do not want to continue teaching now, so I closed my business. I am selling my laptop, so business to close ho gaya, no business. So specifically they are saying course furtherance of business includes during commencement whatever you acquire, and on closure whatever you sell, both are considered to be course furtherance of business. And that was because section number 16 says ITC is available if it is in course furtherance of business. Understood the logic why they introduced this? Is it important? I would say course furtherance of business ka definition is not important, but why the things have been included, I am just telling you that. Now, provisions of facility by club association to its members. Provisions of facility by club association to its member. Now, if you provide any facility to your members also, that is also course furtherance of business. Give me 1 minute. चलो. So provision of facility by club association to the members for consideration. This is a club and club is providing services, additional service to its member. So they are saying whatever you give to your members, you are giving facility. So subscription fees, if you are charging, club ka subscription fees is there, that is considered to be course furtherance of business. So what is important in this definition? Only this. Others are okay. Now, admission for consideration to any premises. Can anyone give me where you give consideration for entering into a premises? Any example, admission for consideration to any premises?
Amusement park.
Amusement park, more.
Any
Any event.
performance, theatrical performance or stadium or something.
Stadium, okay. More.
Cricket match ticket.
Stadium, cricket match, done. More.
Theater.
Parking, mall parking. Okay. So this is also kind of service. Now parking wala say I am not having any service. मैं तो सिर्फ क्या कर रहा हूँ? I am not providing anything. I am just letting them enter. That is also what? That is also business. Now they have made it a business. But understand, if the charges is only up to 500, you will find in mega exemption. If the ticket charges is up to 500, then it has been mega exempted. So this is the definition. Supply ka definition is trying to include everything possible. Then slowly either in negative list or slowly in your mega exemption, they will pick up exempted. Getting? Service as an office holder, accepted in course furtherance of trade and profession. Now suppose, as a chartered accountant, Mr. A has been appointed as a director of a company. Due to his service as a holder of office, he is now the office holder. Service he is providing as a office holder in course furtherance of either trade or profession. Now, due to his profession, he is getting a position. So that position is also a course furtherance of business. Suppose, ma'am, this is a trader. He was a very good trader, and because of this, he has been made the chairperson of that association. He has been made what? Chairperson of that association. Due to his trade, he is getting a position. So that position will also be considered to be your business. Understood? One time reading, course furtherance of business ki definition, only one time reading is sufficient. Do not mug up. Now, activity of race club, total setter, license, bookmarker, these are all considered to be your, that means betting वगैरह वाली चीजें all are considered to be course furtherance of business, and any activity by government as public authority. This is important. Any activity by government as public authority. Now they first made it as a business. पहले तो इसको business बनाया कि any activity by government as a public authority is business. Then again in schedule number 3, activity provided by government as a public authority, neither supply of goods nor supply of service. So first of all, they had made it business. Now understand one thing, and you only tell me, when they wanted to exclude it from the purpose of GST, so what was the purpose of including it over here? कराई क्यों include जब आगे जाके इनको या तो exempt करना है या schedule 3 करना है, तो why they are including all these things here? Tell me. मजा आ रहा था कि पहले इंक्लूड करेंगे, बच्चों को परेशान करेंगे, फिर एक्सक्लूड करेंगे.
Ma'am, might be all activities provided by the government is not exempted. Maybe few are exempted, ma'am.
और further reason?
मैम गवर्नमेंट अगर सप्लाई करेगी सर्विसेज को तो फिर गवर्नमेंट को अपने आप को ही रिवेन्यू देना पड़ेगा या जीएसटी देना पड़ेगा.
नहीं, वो that is a different thing. But I am asking कि include ही क्यों किया जब आगे जाके कुछ ना कुछ करके exclude ही कर रहे हो? करना ही क्यों फिर include?
Because once they are included, they might be included in supply and then they will exempt.
So now, actually your answer is correct, but not elaborated. Okay. The reason is, this is right now I am forming act. Abhi act ban raha hai. To form an act, it should go to parliament, both the houses of parliament, then it will get approved. So abhi you would include everything possible, include, because you can make amendments, and amendments does not take much of the time. So right now, when you are writing the act, include whatever is possible, then you can exclude, because if you fail to include in the main definition, in the main act, so it will never form part of your entire GST. So later on, you have to amend the entire act. So it is better to include right now and create amendments through rules. Are you getting? तो वहां पे आप rules के through amendment create कर सकते हो, but here if you fail to include it in the act, तो फिर वो तो कभी भी आने में कितना लंबा time लग जाएगा. It will take a lot of time to amend the act, because amendment of act takes lot of time instead of creating amendments. Understood? So that's why they have included everything. So now this completes only my first part of the definition. And what is important in the definition, except this course furtherance of business ki definition, everything is important. I'm not saying you do not read that, but at least it is just a logical way ki, yeah, this is my business. That is it. Now, full attention is needed in this. It will take my at least half an hour to explain only this concept and this concept. Half an hour only for this 2 lines we will be spending. So entire concentration should be here. We have done section number 7, subsection 1, clause A, done. Now clause B, import of service. It is telling about what? Import of service. First of all, they are saying if you import service, that should be for consideration. Whether course furtherance of business or whether it is not for course furtherance of business. So if I write, is it import of service? Yes, it is import of service. It needs what? Consideration. Yes, it needs consideration. Ma'am, course furtherance of business? Course furtherance of business, yes, or course furtherance of business, no, doesn't matter. So this is nothing. These are the crux. You will find here. This is nothing. These are the crux. It should be import of service. It should be for consideration. So it is immaterial. Course furtherance of business is immaterial over here. Itna abhi what we have read, we understood ki okay, it is import of service, consideration, that is it. We do not worry about course furtherance of business. Now, when I go into the depth of word import of service, then I realize that actually it is not supply. Actually, it is purchase. So when I was going into the depth of import of service word, I realized it is a purchase, it is not a supply. Then I got to know that when the purchaser would be taking this service that I called in my language recipient, when the recipient would be taking this service, he would be liable to pay what? GST. That means this is the concept that I called reverse charge mechanism. Because in definition, they have included a purchase nature ka thing. A transaction that is in the nature of purchase, they have included. That is the reason it is making the concept that is called reverse charge mechanism. So understood why the chapter reverse charge mechanism created, because the root is getting from supply ki definition. So supply ki definition includes import of service, and that is the reason reverse charge mechanism ka concept is there. Itne pe koi doubt? Any doubt till now? Anyone? Now second thing. Ma'am, right now we have understood one thing, that if you want, you are doing import of service, okay. Here they are saying there should be consideration. There should be compulsory consideration. So ma'am, whenever I will import service, for consideration. Can I say this ki mandatory? Can I say this mandatory RCM will be applicable? That means is it mandatory I have to pay taxes? Tell me. If you are importing service for consideration, is it mandatory that reverse charge mechanism 100% applicable? Yes or no?
No.
Why? If no, then why?
Because the consideration may be paid by someone else other than the recipient.
Now you have to understand the definition of recipient. For that we have to understand the definition of recipient also. Recipient का मतलब होता है the person paying consideration. Now the person who is paying consideration, he will be the recipient. We will understand the definition.
Message by chance.
Yeah.
If any person who is making the supply for the purchaser, if he comes under the taxable purview of GST, then this purchaser need not pay RCM.
If the recipient, I will give you a linkage. It has linkage to registration chapter also. Wrong.
Ma'am, can I make an attempt?
Yes.
So if the supplier is registered, okay, then he'll be directly covered under a forward charge mechanism. Then in that case, could be RCM may not be okay.
You forgot basic. You have to check. क्या कर रहे हो? Every time you want to apply a tax, रुको, check mega exemption. It's not always mandatory कि reverse charge is there, you have to pay tax. It is you have to check what? Mega exemption. Are you getting? So whenever it is import of service, is it कि I have to mandatory pay reverse charge mechanism? No. Every time, whether it is forward charge, every time, whether it is reverse charge, every time you have to check schedule number 3, every time you have to check mega exemption. Just lock it into your head before applying any tax. Wait, check mega exemption, check schedule number 3. Done? Now, ma'am, as you said ki import of service give rise to reverse charge mechanism. As you said, import of service give rise to reverse charge mechanism. So ma'am, I am not a taxable person. I am not a taxable person. Suppose me, right now I am not a taxable person. I am taking import of service from outside India. Ma'am, my threshold limit has not crossed. I am not earning 20 lakh, I am not earning 40 lakh, I am not earning 10 lakh. My threshold limit has not crossed. Then is it ki RCM basis pe I have to pay tax? So understand one thing. When you will go to the chapter of registration, there is a concept of compulsory registration. Even your threshold limit has not crossed. Even अगर आपका threshold limit cross नहीं होता है, still you are mandatory required to get registered, and there are certain pointers given over there. And one pointer is if any of the service or any of the purchase you do that is liable for reverse charge mechanism, even it is of 1 rupee also, no threshold limit applies. You have to mandatory get registered. So whenever there is reverse charge mechanism, point number 1, whenever there is reverse charge mechanism, ma'am, am I required to get registered? Point number 1. Yes, you are required to get registered if it is a taxable nature ka import, taxable nature का purchase. Ma'am, if it is exempt, जब exempt है तो वो तुमको register नहीं करवाएंगे. So, whenever ma'am this is reverse charge mechanism, am I compulsory required to pay tax? No. Check schedule 3, check mega exemption. इतना समझ में आया? Ma'am, yes, it is exempted. So, am I required to get compulsory registration? Or even it is exempted, do not get compulsory registered. Ma'am, it is not exempted and it is only 10 rupees ka service I have taken and I am required to pay reverse charge mechanism. Yes, even it is 1 rupee also. Mandatory registration because you are covered in reverse charge mechanism. Understood? So concept lies like this. First of all, ma'am, I have done a supply. First of all, I have done a transaction, not supply. First of all, I have done a transaction. Check whether it is supply or it is purchase. I have done a transaction. Check whether it is supply or it is purchase. Ma'am, abhi, for the time being, it is purchase. Okay. So when you are purchasing something, check whether that purchase included in the definition of supply. Ma'am, only import of service included in the definition of supply. So is it import of service? Yes, ma'am, it is import of service from outside India. Done. Is that import of service exempt? Wait, let me check. I will check where in mega exemption whether it has been exempted. Yes, ma'am, it has been exempted. So am I required to get registered? It is exempt. You are not required to get registered. Second, again, ma'am, I have done purchase. Is it import? Yes, ma'am, it is import of service, and yes, supply includes that import of service. Ma'am, this import of service, is it mega exempted? No, ma'am, it is not mega exempted. Are you required to see even the amount of that service ka? Nahi. Compulsory get registered and pay tax. Are you getting the logic? Now, import of service has connection first with your reverse charge mechanism ka chapter. Second is that it has connection with mega exemption. And third, it has connection with registration. So whenever you find in your exam, whenever you find in your question paper, import of service, 3 chapters should struck in your head ki whether it has been exempted, whether it is required ki registration to be taken. So you have to check like that. Understood? So abhi humne kya kiya? Only we have understood whenever it is import of service, only service. Why not goods? Already understood. Specific act is there. For goods, it is custom act. So we are not worried about it. Ma'am, it is import of service. Reverse charge mechanism ka concept applicable. But we have checked mega exemption. If mega exempted, no registration needed. If not mega exemption, then in case compulsory registration needed. So first of all, put the date today and write import of service, and we should write this. Abdul, take out your copy. Already? Chalo, dictate karo. Now put the heading import of service. Done? Now, point number 1. Definition of supply. Definition of supply includes only import of service. Includes only import of service, not import of goods. Not import of goods. Because specific act that is custom. Because specific act that is custom is applicable on goods. Okay, the next point. Import of service is in the nature of purchase. Import of service is in the nature of purchase. Therefore, in such case, recipient required to pay the taxes. such import is not mega exempted. Point number 3. Whenever it is reverse charge mechanism, RCM you can write only. Whenever it is RCM, as per registration chapter, it is mandatory registration. It is mandatory registration irrespective of threshold limit. However, if import is exempt, if such import is exempt, and there is no other RCM, nature's transaction, there is no other RCM nature's transaction that is taxable, then mandatory registration not needed. Then mandatory registration not needed. Done? Sure. So this is what we have right now understood. Now going into more detail. Now they are saying this import of service should be for consideration. So they are saying this import of service should be for consideration, course furtherance of business, whether it is there or whether it is not there, doesn't matter. Abhi itna samajhna. Import of service plus consideration should be there. We are not worried about the business. That means if I'm just importing, suppose I'm importing a service related to a software. YouTube is nothing, import of service also. You are using YouTube, you are using Instagram, you are using Facebook. That is all about import of service only. So are you paying GST? We are not paying GST. We are non-taxable recipient. We are not paying GST. So if you study this definition, it is saying that every person, whether for business, whether not for business, for how much you are using Instagram for the purpose of business. Are we using for it business? No. So according to the definition, whenever there is import of service for consideration, you have to, whether it is business, whether it is not business, it is always supply. And when something is supplied, it should be always taxable. So are you getting? That is the reason import of service, even if for consideration. But if it is for business, so yes, it is supply. But if it is not for business, you will find in mega exemption that if it is not for the business, for individual, it is mega exempted. Why, ma'am? Suppose a person want to get married. He is taking marriage bureau ka services. Now it is personal nature ka service. He is paying consideration. So for personal nature ka service that he is importing, would you apply GST? So that is the reason they say, if import of service is there, tick. If consideration is there, tick. If there is no course furtherance of business and you are individual who is taking it, you are what? Individual who is taking such service. Mega exemption says exempted. So right now again they have included everything supply mein to sab include ho gaya. Again mega exemption, import of service, consideration. If that service has been imported by individual, always mega exempted if it is not for course furtherance of business. Are you getting? Logical. If I want any personal nature ka service ka import, and I have to pay GST because you are getting taxable under RCM. And if they make it taxable under RCM, so compulsory registration almost other India will get registered. Are you getting? So everyone required to get registered because RCM में तो mandatory registration है. Repeating in Hindi. अरे अगर ऐसे पर्सनल नेचर की सर्विसेज लेने पे रजिस्ट्रेशन कंपलसरी करोगे बिकॉज रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म है, तो ऐसे तो आधा इंडिया रजिस्टर होके बैठ जाएगा. आर यू गेटिंग? सो दैट इज द रीजन. इंडिविजुअल, आर यू इंपोर्टिंग? यस. इज इट फॉर पर्सनल नेचर? यस. Whether you pay consideration, so if you, even if you are paying consideration, we have mega exempted. Understood? Understood? चलो ये आ गया समझ में. Again import of service, yes ma'am. Are you paying consideration? Yes. Are you government? Yes. Government even importing the service, for them also mega exempted. So either government importing the service even for not business, that is for government authority, and for individual, for these two people always mega exempted if you are importing. Lakshmi, got it? Abhi or detail. Ma'am, is it import of service? Yes. Is it for consideration? Is it for consideration? Yes. So it is import of service. It is for consideration. Now, charitable trust I am what? Charitable trust. Okay, import of service for consideration by charitable trust. What is? Mega exempted. Even you paid consideration, mega exempted. Third, ma'am, import of service? Yes. Are you RBI? Yes. Are you importing the service? RBI? Yes. Consideration paying? Yes. But if RBI is utilizing this service for foreign exchange management, exempted. So are you getting what I'm trying to give you? All the pointers that have been given in mega exemption, that is getting linked to your supply key definition. So here we will do in mega exemption also. Mega exemption, again we will pick the definition of supply to link it. But you should get an idea if whatever has been written in supply key definition, it is having mega exemption somewhere because it is inclusive definition. Now they are trying to exclude not taxable, not taxable, not taxable. Understood? Abul, any doubt in this? Why mega exemption we are linking here many times? Any doubt? 30 seconds I am waiting.
Ma'am, if government or individual is importing the services for the purpose of business, is it taxable?
That we have an entire list of mega exemption, services to government and services by government. In that we have to do, that is 2 pages ka list. So that's why I not touch that. Okay? Yeah. Shall I move forward? Now. Again, moving to this import of service. बहुत भारी है ये concept. I'm telling you, this concept is very interesting also, and lots of logic is there. Again, I'm moving to this concept, that is what import of service for consideration. Ma'am, wait. What if we remove consideration? We are importing the service, but not for consideration. And whenever there is no consideration, always check schedule number 1. Always you will check what? Schedule number 1. That means, ma'am, import of service and we have consideration. Would I check schedule number 1? Say yes or no? No. Ma'am, it is import of service. I do not have consideration. Would I check schedule number 1 now? Yes, because in schedule number 1, they have given a point related to import of service. Itna understood? So whenever in entire GST, whenever no consideration is there, repeating, whenever no consideration is there, always check schedule number 1. So even if it is no consideration, open your schedule number 1, whether it is now deemed as a supply. Understood? Ma'am, why you are saying deemed as supply? Remember 5 elements of supply: goods, service, course furtherance of business, consideration. Now you do not have one element. So if no one element is missing, you will say it is deemed supply. Understood? Itna hai? Now. Now, import of service, right? It is import of service. Now, in case of import of service, do not copy it, okay? I have consideration. In import of service, I have what? Consideration, and here it is no consideration. Whenever it is consideration, they said ki whether course furtherance of business, not course furtherance of business, doesn't matter. If you have consideration, course furtherance of business doesn't matter. Right? It does not matter. Now, if there is no consideration, that means we have checked schedule number 1, and in schedule number 1, specifically written, if it is not for consideration, compulsory course furtherance of business needed. Compulsory course furtherance of business is needed if, oh, I am writing CFS, it is CFB. So if there is no consideration, I have checked schedule 1, compulsory course furtherance of business should be there. Can I say one thing? When there is consideration, course furtherance of business doesn't matter. When there is no consideration, course furtherance of business is compulsory. Ek element to do, either consideration you remove, either course furtherance of business you remove. Are you getting this? So this is comparison. Schedule number 1, no consideration. Consideration, don't check schedule number 1. Ma'am, no consideration. Compulsory course furtherance of business mein you should do the import. Ma'am, there is consideration. So whether course furtherance of business or not course furtherance of business. Done. Itna aaya abhi samajh mein? This is just the starting, right? Point number 2. Now, when import of service is for consideration, when import of service is for consideration, course furtherance of business immaterial. Course furtherance of business immaterial. Second point, next point. If import of service is without consideration, if import of service is without consideration, always check schedule 1. Always check schedule 1. Done. If no consideration, then full stop. If no consideration, then import of service should, if no consideration, then import of service should mandatorily be for course furtherance of business. Should mandatorily be for course furtherance of business. Where it has been written, schedule 1 mein you will find, we will read the course furtherance of business is compulsory. Now, again moving to this definition, import of service. Now, again in definition, import of service for a consideration, whether or not course furtherance of business. Reading in between the line, is that mentioned if from whom service should be imported? Have they mentioned if this is the person from whom you should import the service, or it is open-ended? If from anywhere you can import the service, tell me. Repeating the question, by reading this clause B, what interpretation you would make? Ki import of service should be from any person or compulsory from any criteria has been given ki if you import for consideration, then it should be that particular person. हिंदी में कैसा लिखा है कि किसी पर्टिकुलर पर्सन से ही अगर कंसिडरेशन के लिए सर्विस इंपोर्ट करो तो ये पर्टिकुलर पर्सन यही होना चाहिए या फिर ये एक ओपन एंडेड क्लॉज है?
Open-ended, ma'am.
Open-ended.
Open-ended.
क्योंकि recipient से में tax लेना.
Because nothing has been written. You can import service for consideration. For consideration, you can import from any person. Any person. But when I will move to schedule number 1, specifically written, either related party say import the service without consideration or your own establishment outside India. Your own establishment outside India or related party say you have to import the service. Understood? 1 minute, just 1 minute. Done? Now, import of service. If it is for consideration, from where you are importing doesn't matter. But if import of service is without consideration, compulsory it should be imported from related party or own establishment outside India. Now again, write that point. Import of service with consideration. Import of service with consideration is irrespective of type of supplier. Is irrespective of type of supplier. Bracket mein if you want, you can write, you can import from any person. Done. However, if import of service is without consideration, however, if import of service is without consideration, it is compulsory to import from related party, compulsory to import from related party or own establishment. I am talking about own establishment, not any other. Own establishment outside India. So now I'm going into this certain question. Now you have to tell me whether actually it is supply or not. You have to first understand whether it is supply or not. Step number 1, you will just think, register सबसे पहले whether it is included in the definition of supply or not. If something is missing, that is consideration. Check whether consideration wala point schedule 1 covers or not. Then also check little bit I have told about the mega exemption ke 2-3 points. I will incorporate only that. Whether mega exempted, whether registration needed or not. Let us check we can apply the concept or not. Okay. So it is what I have taken online services from outside India. So when I am saying online service outside India, tell me, is it import or not?
Yes, ma'am.
It is. So I have taken online services from outside India as for the marriage purpose, and I have given consideration. Tell me, is it supply or not? First of all, is it supply or not?
Supply.
Yes.
Supply.
Supply. Is it taxable or not?
Not.
Not,
Check
I-
schedule number 1.
because not for business purpose.
Mega exemption.
Mega
Taxable.
exemption.
Mega
Because
exemption.
देखो अभी फिर से you have given a wrong answer ना Kartik. I am saying it is supply. Why? Because import of service for consideration whether course furtherance of business or not. Remember, that is a supply. So do not say it is not a supply. It is supply. But that supply has been mega exempted. So here you go wrong when framing the reasons. Again, online services I am taking. I am taking online classes from outside India in relation to VET. In Dubai, VET is there, no GST is there. So for VET, I am taking classes from outside India as a company and paying consideration over there. Now, first point, online classes, is it import or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Have I paid consideration?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Import of service for consideration. Am I individual? I said company.
Company.
No.
So
No mega
that means
exemption.
no mega exemption over there. So yes, this is import of
Supply.
service. It is course furtherance of business because company is taking for course furtherance of business. It is supply and
It
taxation.
is taxable.
But mega exemption has not been given. Are you getting how to approach again? I have taken again online journal related service. Online journal related service. I am charitable trust who is taking online journal related service for charitable activity. First of all, is it import or not?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Is it supply or not?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
But is the supply
Mega exemption.
taxable?
Not.
No, ma'am.
Why?
Mega
Covered in mega
exemption.
exemption.
Mega exemption. So your process should be like that. Ki what is the nature? Then is it supply or not? And if it is supply, is it taxable or not? 3 questions you are asking again and again. Your brain is asking 3 questions. Nature, is it supply? And if it is supply, taxable or not? Done? Chalo. I have again imported services from outside India and have not paid any consideration. I have imported what? Service from outside India, consideration has not been paid. From an establishment outside India. Now tell me, is it supply or not? Wisely,
Yeah.
is it supply or not? Import
Yes.
of service है ये?
Yes.
Import of service. Have I paid consideration?
No.
No.
So is it supply or not?
Yes.
Yes, it's supply,
Yes.
but it's covered in
One
schedule
minute.
one.
Now you are going wrong. When I import service, yes, it is import ka nature. I have paid consideration. I have not paid consideration. First of all, don't say directly it is supply. Check schedule.
Check schedule one.
1. So after checking schedule number 1, is it supply now?
If it is
Import
for
of
business.
service, no consideration
No.
paid from establishment outside India.
Not a supply because
Yes.
not on establishment.
Yes. Because when I am taking without consideration, it should be own establishment outside India, and I have not used the word own. I said establishment outside India. So it is not at all a supply. Now it is not a supply. So supply ki definition is only telling you whether it is supply or not. Then you will decide in mega exemption whether it is taxable supply or not. Are you getting? Again, I have imported services from outside India. I have not paid GST. Sorry, I have not paid any consideration. And that has been establishment from own establishment for personal purpose.
Supply, ma'am.
Not a supply.
Not a supply.
Abdul saying supply, Lakshmi saying not a supply. Answer Jaya,
It's not a supply.
it's not a supply. What is the reason for not being a supply?
Because it is for personal
It's
use.
from
It
Business.
must be compulsory for
Not in
business.
course and
Remember, I told you na, if import of service, if not for consideration, compulsory it should be for course furtherance of business. And right now, what I have said for personal purpose. Getting the probabilities you can find in a question. So these are the twists and turns of probability. Again, import of service. Okay. Now, import of service without consideration. One more thing written. It should be from related party. It should be from related party. Now you have to understand the definition of related party for them. and related party has been given in section number 15. The related party also includes member of same family. Related party also includes member of same family. So, import of service from brother outside India. Import of service from brother who is outside India with consideration, but no course furtherance of business. Wisely, एक करके सोचना. Import of service
Yes.
from brother with consideration.
Yes.
Furtherance of business is not there.
It's a supply.
Supply only.
Why it is a supply? Because when it is consideration from any person, you can take the import. Are you getting that? If it is a import and it is with consideration, do not worry about the person, whether related, whether unrelated. So that was just to confuse you. Again, import of service from sister outside India. Import of service from sister outside India. Course furtherance of business without consideration. Simple. Import of service.
It's a supply.
It is a supply, but supply as per section 7 or section 7 with schedule 1. According to
Schedule 1.
Schedule 1.
it is, don't say supply, deemed supply. Use the word, it is deemed supply. Okay? Understood? Chalo. Abhi khatam hua kya import of service? No, not yet completed. You have to left one page so that when we will do the mega exemption now, so all the pointers of mega exemption we will create here also for the clustering. So one page you should left blank and write mega exemption points over there. So you would remember that we have to write down the mega exemption points. See. Now, import of service. That is schedule number 1 I am reading right now. Okay. Now, import of service by a person. Now, a person. This a person is what? Now, is it a taxable person? Or it is a registered person? Or it is any person? Again, a person has been written. Now, it is taxable person, registered person, or any person. Whether taxable, non-taxable, doesn't matter.
Any person.
Lakshmi says any person. Others, try to put your interpretation. Use whatever you have just studied.
This is the person.
Taxable person, ma'am.
Any person.
Any person.
Exactly any person, because reverse charge mechanism concept. Even a single rupee ka RCM ka concept you will do. And if it is not exempt nature ka, compulsory you would be required to get registration. So threshold limit to not applicable. Na? So any person if import something from related party without consideration in course furtherance of business, and if it is not mega exempted, compulsory registration is there. Are you getting? So any kind of person, I am an unregistered person importing RCM aage, you have to get registered. And once you are liable to get registered, you already get converted into taxable person. Once you are liable to get registered, already you get converted into your taxable person. Understood? क्या ये बात समझ में? Sure. So import of service by any person, but should be from related person or from any of his. Do not ignore this word. Any of his. खुद का होना चाहिए. His other establishment outside India in course furtherance of business. Understood? Done? So now I will give you a chart for this import of service. regarding all that, when it is mega exempted, not mega exempted, because in class, if you will make it, it will take other 20 minutes. So I will be sharing that chart, and that chart is having all these probabilities, whatever I discussed now, when it is supplied, when it is not supplied, that will be the chart. Understood? Now what I mean, import of service as well as this schedule 1, at least you read this 2 points again, you read that your import of service wala and schedule 1. Now tell me this answer. Service has been taken before commencement of business from Mr. X outside India. 1, for consideration, and second case, not for consideration.
First case, shall we try?
Now, in first case, service before commencement taken from outside India for consideration. Is it a supply, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
As per
7.1.
So,
Is it a supply now?
7.1B.
Ma'am, it is a supply.
First is supply, because for consideration you have taken whether you take for business or you do not take for business does not matter. But here have they taken for the purpose of business? In my example, is it for purpose of business? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, because remember, before
Before
commencement,
commencement.
either
Before,
Or closure is included in supply.
before
capital
closure,
was also
both
It's a
are
business.
service was also there, so I have put service here. Now, if it is not for consideration, is it supply now?
I need to check the schedule number 1.
check schedule 1.
Schedule 1.
And does schedule 1 includes this not for consideration from Mr. X outside India?
No,
No, ma'am.
Because he is not related party.
not
or
related party,
he
not
is
his own
business.
Neither
establishment.
is own
Establishment.
establishment.
Yes. Okay. So they can also, they will not always give you course furtherance of business word. They can put course furtherance of business ka koi bhi ek point over there. So you have to understand this is the course furtherance of business. Are you getting? Chalo. So now we have done what? Abhi mega exemption we have not touched, but at least we have done clause A, we have done clause B, and clause C mein only import related we have done. Okay. Now one more point, I don't think time will permit me. So I just want you to read schedule 1 for the tomorrow's class. Tomorrow we will complete schedule number 1 and schedule number 2. This 2 will get completed. And this is the bulkiest part of your, I can say analysis section. The bulkiest part is coming tomorrow. Okay. So these are the 3 days demo that I have given you. So those who want to register and those who have already registered, just give me a screenshot again on WhatsApp. So now we can create a group. Okay. So those who want to register, they can pay the fees and get registered because 3 days demos have been over now. And from now onwards on YouTube, only this class will be uploaded. From tomorrow, no class will be uploaded for these sections we are taking. Okay. Whether for DT and whether for ITT. So those who have paid, give me the screenshot so that I can provide you some of the notes and etc. that I can provide you. Okay. Chalo. Any doubt? कोई दुख, कोई तकलीफ, GST में, anything? Everyone comfortable with Hindi क्या? Or no? हाँ, Kumar is not comfortable with Hindi. चलो. Okay. So shall I leave? We will connect at sharp 8 for transfer pricing. Chalo.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.